Hi guys. Hello. Good morning. I thought I'd go live. I've got a few minutes um, just to talk about things, what's happening in the world at the moment. I just want to come online, talk about what's happening in the world at the moment regarding the last protests in particular in Melbourne, and also generally in society for what I have experienced. And it's probably a lot of what you've experienced also. Let me know if it isn't, and but let me know also if it is. Um, just regarding the last Saturday's protests. Last Saturday's protest was, you know, at least tens of thousands of people there. Probably what maybe even 100,000, 200,000. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't quite. I'm not sure. It did appear to be slightly smaller than the week before regarding the protests. But in Melbourne, it was quite different this time in many ways, because it started off with the speakers and music, and that went for quite a while until the crowds gathered, and then the march was after that, and then they had a couple more speeches down at Flynn Street Station at the end of the march. But I did the live stream last Saturday, which went for 4 hours and 16 minutes. So if you got to see that, you'll see what I mean. It's a long live stream to watch. So if you haven't got the time to watch that, I don't blame you. But in the live stream from last Saturday on my YouTube channel, and I've got them in my Telegram Eagles Wings channel also, and I posted on my Facebook. Even if you don't watch the whole lot, which of course no one can blame you for that, over 4 hours worth, if you just fast forward through it until you can see me talking to an individual person, so that's most likely an interview. So I listened to the interviews of the people that I spoke to. Some very interesting views, very interesting people there, very awake people and aware of things. So if you haven't seen the live stream in full, just go to a couple of bits. There's a couple of nice debates, even towards the start where, or right at the start, where we came against the other group talking about, oh, hello, John from Greece. You're a long way, so I don't know what's happened over in Greece, but in Australia, I did the live stream so you can see what's happening. Someone's just commenting from Greece on my live stream here. But even if you go to the start of the live stream, you'll see when I come across the other group of protests, which were protesting for vaccines, and they were saying anti-fascists and things like that. That was very strange behaviour, you'll see, and the police came running up because I'm filming, but apparently they might be there to protect me because they know that group's quite an angry group, and it's strange in that way, but it's also strange in the way that I couldn't actually speak to the people. They just put signs in front of your face, and they won't let you talk to them, and they won't answer any questions. So they're speaking on a megaphone and things like that, but so they want to be out in the public. They want to get their message up. But when you ask them questions and talk, what are you about, they won't answer, especially if you've got a camera. So it's a very interesting thing there. And anyway, when we moved along to the other protests, you eventually see that walking up Burke Street there, we eventually went past Parliament House and eventually found the crowd down at the gardens there. So at that part there, you see a lot of speakers. Craig Kelly was there. He was one of the speakers. The Aussie Cossack from Sydney, he was there, one of the speakers. And there was quite a number of speakers, including doctors and things, with their opinions of and how they had been treated and so forth. Yeah, so that was interesting, and then there was a lot of music and singing. But then if you fast forward after that, or just before that, there's one interview. But after that, there's quite a lot of interviews, even a debate against someone that was had a sign up for people to debate them. They said, if you're fighting for freedom, you must also be vegan. And then he had a sign saying, debate me. So we had a bit of a debate and lots of people had a debate with him, that, you know, him questioning and trying to say that if you're fighting for the freedom that these people are fighting for, then you must also be fighting for the freedom of animals, and not support eating them. So that was an interesting debate. If you find that, you can scroll through that, you'll see the sign. Yeah, but there was interesting interviews, and towards the end, yeah, there's a lot of interesting interviews. So I just want to say, if you haven't watched it in full, the live stream, go and watch a couple of bits where I'm interviewing people and hearing how they feel about what's going on with the in the world generally, the government and everything. A lot of people don't want to be vaccinated. You know, they had enough. They don't want the kids vaccinated. A lot of people have lost their jobs because of it. And so they're quite angry. So there's a big separation between that the government is causing. Now, generally, just moving on from the live stream now, just generally in general life, when you go into a shop, you know, some shops say, you know, they're expecting you to sign in or to check in with the QR code, which they don't seem to be policing it that hard. And the other thing is, some shops just let you in without checking whether you're vaccinated, so they don't check for a vaccinated certificates. But many shops on retail in Melbourne, if they're classified as retail, you can't actually go into the shop if you're unvaccinated. So there's a big separation. So even Bunnings, we had a bit of a scuffle with Bunnings. I'm a tradie, and yeah, they're checking for vaccination certificates just to go into Bunnings, because on their website you'll notice that it says they're classified as general retail. And the interesting thing also, when we went to Bunnings and spoke to Bunnings, I actually said, what's the definition that says that you're unessential? And they said, we haven't got a definition. So they know to exclude unvaccinated people, but they don't know what the definition of essential versus non-essential shops. They can't tell you what the definition is, but they know to keep you out if you're unvaccinated. And so there's a big separation there. And there's a lot of other shops too. If you try to go into JB Hi-Fi, that's not essential. So they want to check so they won't let you in. You go in there and then people aren't allowed in. And then there's arguments at the doors and things like that. And they hire security, but some people, you know, bully their way in because they have some young person there that can't stop them. So it's causing a bit of a problem, a big separational problem there. And other shops, you know, they might ask you, oh, can you show me your certificate when you go to, yeah, this is what I've experienced. I might get in and they haven't asked me. And then at the counter, they'll ask you. And then they'll say, oh, we can't serve you unless you show us your vaccination certificate. And then they try to not serve you. And I said, well, I haven't got it on me here. So, so I just stand there, and then they just stand there, you know, like a standoff. And then I've been told, okay, well, I'll serve you this time, but next time make sure you show your vaccination certificate. So some are a bit looser, and you can get through it. But the other thing too, there's exemptions to the vaccination. So you can have an official certificate that's got the green tick that is accepting that you're not vaccinated, but they'll let you in. So people are showing that also, and getting into the shops where you have to be vaccinated to go in. But what they're doing is letting an unvaccinated person into the shop, but they're officially allowed to because it's got a green tick, because it's an exemption. So this is what's going on. So some shops you can go into, some shops you can't, and there's big arguments at the door. I've seen an argument or two. I've been one of them. So it's causing a big separation between vaxxed and unvaxxed. I mean, there used to be discrimination with women, and there used to be discrimination with race or colour. Say, if you're, the black people, there's no discrimination with black or with, black or white or male or female now, unless individuals do. Well, then they shouldn't, but individuals do. But generally speaking, there's no discrimination between men and women, and there's no discrimination between white and black. But black people and women used to be discriminated against. And so they'll let black people in, so they won't discriminate, as they shouldn't, but they won't let an unvaccinated person into their shop. So they've still got this discrimination again, but it's just shifted from a racial or a colour discrimination over to a medical discrimination. So the government is actually participating and actually igniting and deliberately pushing this discrimination on a different topic that it's been in the past. It's medical discrimination. So it's causing a lot of problem. So there's a lot of shops that people can't go into, which were just normal shops I always used to go into. Now they either can't go into them, or they might have to just buy takeaway more often and things like that. A lot of people are not bothering it because they know that they won't be allowed in, so they don't bother trying. And so they're segregated. So they're discriminated against. And the government's initiated it. And then there's also people that, bluff their way in and might have an argument and force their way in. But then it causes all this contention at the front door. And the businesses don't want to deal with it, and they shouldn't have to deal with it, but they're being forced to deal with it. And I know also of a situation where someone said, "Oh, listen, I haven't got my." She went in and got what she wanted to get, and she goes, "Listen." Oh no, she went up to the counter. "Listen, I haven't got my vaccination certificate with me, because she didn't have one." And but that's what she said. "But I need to get this. I need to get a birthday, birthday card or a loyalty thing or something." Anyway, it was just a purchase, and they said, "Okay," and then they said, "Have you got cash?" So officially they're not allowed in there. But then the lady at the counter said, "Have you got cash?" And she said, "Yes, I do have cash." "Well, okay, well, I'll sell it to you with the cash." So this thing happening as well. Now, why would they offer, if you've got cash, even though you haven't got a certificate, that I'll sell it to you? Because I think it'll be because of tracking. Cash, you can't track it, so they can't prove it. So then it makes you wonder, is it really about protect people's health, or is it really about control, which we've said all the time, Is it about protecting people, or is it about control? Because if you think of going into the shop and they say, well, if you've got an exemption, and they say, well, if you've got an exemption, you can come in. And then I've said this, I've got an exemption. And they go, "Oh, well, you can come." Yeah, you can go in. You've got the green tick and you've got an exemption. Yeah, by all means, come in. So I can go in, and all people with exemptions can go in. But I said, but then you say, "Yeah, but I'm unvaccinated." Yeah, but you're allowed in. That's official. So if it's for health reasons to not let unvaccinated people into any non-essential shop, then wouldn't letting someone with a green tick that's got an exemption from not get vaccinated, wouldn't that be causing a problem with people's health? They're still not vaccinated, but they're allowed in purely because of an official tick. So it's not about not letting the unvaccinated in, really. It's about official tick. Is the official tick really about health? Or is the official tick about control? Just want you to have a think about that. Because all exemptions, official exemptions from the government, can go into have all the same rights as a vaccinated person that has the tick as well. So an unvaccinated person with the tick can go everywhere. So if it's about keeping infected or high-risk people out of places, then why is a tick allowing them to go in if it's about health? And now this actually reveals, so I could have an official tick, I'm exempt from a vaccine, and someone else that cannot have or that I could walk up with, cannot have any tick, exempting them, but we're both unvaccinated. So they let me in because of the green tick, but they don't let the other person in. And they said, well, they can't come in because they're not vaccinated. And I can say, yeah, but either am I. And they'll go, yeah, but you've got the green tick. Yeah, so, but I'm unvaccinated. And they go, you can go in, but they can't. But we're both unvaccinated and you're letting me in purely because of a green tick. So is it about health? Obviously, it's about control. So just a few thoughts, guys. Yeah, so obviously there's more rallies and things. People are seeing through this, more and more people. That's why there's hundreds of thousands turning up at cities. This is happening all around the world, I believe, especially in Melbourne. But there is an inkling, there is a bit of a talk that the mandates might drop, like to be vaccinated or not vaccinated with work situations. There's some report in the Sun that was written up in a paper. So I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing or anything, but just keep a lookout for things because they might drop it. They might drop needing to be vaccinated for work situations. They might drop it in some shops and things like that too. So because it's causing too many problems, and they're not doing it properly anyway, because you can bluff your way in. You either bluff your way in, they either don't care and don't ask, or you have an argument at the front door. So it's causing a lot of people problems. I think it might be dropped by, early next year. They're going to start. There seems to be reports about that anyway. So nothing's official, but just keep an ear to the ground. I think that might happen in Melbourne sooner or later. But at the moment, no, you can't. You're losing your jobs, and you can't go into certain places. And some places police it harder than other places. Some places they're not supposed to let you in, but they do. But they just take the risk. They might get a fine. But so the government's trying to force them to not let unvaccinated people in. The government's trying to force them by threatening with the $100,000 fine or something. But either some don't care, or they might say pay cash and I'll let you do it. So that even the shop owners, I think it's not. It doesn't appear to be the way they're controlling it. It doesn't appear to be about health. It appears to be about control. So, guys, just tell me what you think, what you're experiencing, and what you think's going to happen in the future. But overall, what's going to happen is going to happen. God has His hand on everything anyway. It's His world. It's His creation. He knows the behaviour of people, and the plan of God will go through, and there's a lot in that plan. And we also know how that ends. We know how the book, as a book, which book am I referring to? I'm referring to the Bible. We know how the book ends. The Bible ends. It ends with God's kingdom overtaken the whole world, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. That's ultimately how it ends. But there's a lot of ups and downs in between as his kingdom spreads throughout the planet. So, guys, that's a bit of a report on the last Saturday and of my experience going into shops. This Saturday I won't be doing it live. I've got something else to go to, so jump onto another live. But I'll try to keep talking about it and get to other rallies that I can get to. Okay, guys, all the best. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. God bless.